So I'm here in Dubai and Umar Ashraf gave me the pleasure to be able to film in his studio, and I thought what better way to use it than to make an honest review on Tradezella. And yes, I'm still going to be honest, even though Umar Ashraf might just pull up and smack me in the face, but that's fine because that's what this channel is about. I've genuinely been using Tradezella for the last 3 or 4 months. I've paid for it completely and I got you a 10% discount code, 10 or 15%. Make sure to check the description to see how much it is. But let's jump onto the screen and see what Tradezella offers and if I recommend you using Tradezella. I'm also going to talk about some features that I would like to see added and some features that I like that were added right now. So let's jump onto the computer and let's do a review. So we're here on the Tradezella website, all-in-one trading journal and journal analytics tool. You have some screenshots of what it looks like, but we will also look through my dashboard. They have stocks, options, FX, futures, and crypto, which is great. They have a trading journal and in-depth trading analytics, and I genuinely think that this is the most pleasing to the eye website and journal that you can find, but we will go further into it. Optimize your trading performance, fine-tune your trading strategy, replay trades, which is a actually really good tool which we can look through. Advanced trade tracking, and also they have the fact that you can import your trades from MT5 interactive brokers. We'll see everywhere you can import the trades from, but that's actually one of the main things that makes me really like Tradezella. It's because instead of going through all my Notion, having to import everything manually, everything is done for me, which I don't think it's good for a beginner trader. To be fair, I wouldn't recommend Tradezella to a beginner trader, and the reason for that is because I genuinely do think that being more hands-on in the beginning is much more worth it. Because it's going to be a tedious thing that you will have to do. Take all the screenshots, write everything that you had in your mind and you have in your mind, making the calculations yourself on how much percentage you won and etc. is a little bit tedious. But the fact that you are going to spend more time at it is going to be helpful to you because you are going to be seeing everything that happened in the market 2, 3, 4 times. While on Tradezella, which one of the things that happens to me is that I forget, I do the journaling after, and then I just forget about the trades. It didn't take a lot of work on my side to get all the journaling done. Now I can oppose to this view by saying that you will have a lot more information at your disposal when you have everything lying in front of you. So for me, all my funded accounts are actually linked to Tradezella, and with this, any trade that I take on a funded account is directly put onto my Tradezella, which helps me keep all of these accounts in track and gives me analytics to all of these trades. So I just have a couple of my accounts here on the dashboard. You can see the net P&L, the percentage of trades that you win, the profit factor, which is the total profits divided by the losses. Anything above 1 means that you have a profitable strategy. The percentage of days that you win, average win in losing trade. And obviously you want a bigger average win than an average loss. Then you have your Zella score, which is still in beta, but they basically give you a graph, which I've always talked about on this YouTube, which is the win percentage, the profit factor, and the average win and loss. You want to maximize this as much as possible because the more you maximize this, the higher the likelihood of you actually being a profitable trader. Then you have the daily P&L in general, the net daily P&L on a different graph. This is the sum of all of it, and this is just divided by day. And as you can see in these accounts, all my losing days were around $300, $400, while my winning days were around $800, $1,400, $600, $3,000, and $2,000, and also 2 $1,000 losing trading days. You can see all the recent positions and the winning positions that you have on. I personally don't use the open positions tab, but this is always great to have. Then you have your drawdown in general, which is every time you started your drawdown, how deep did the drawdown go? And so we can see that my biggest drawdown was $2,300, which I then ended up coming back from. Right here, you can see a breakdown of all the trades that you took. And if we just go quickly onto a trading day, this is going to open up, well, your whole trading day, and you are able to look at all of the trades that you took. So this day I entered in 3 longs on euro dollar. Obviously these were basically trades that I entered together, 1 break even and 2 winners, all basically 5 lots, which then ended up netting me a total of $1,762. Right here we can break down the trade, and this is where I would say that this is not a substitute to TradingView or wherever you do your analysis. I genuinely do believe that this is just a complementary software. You shouldn't be relying on this to do all the charting, do all the breakdowns, do everything. I genuinely think that you should look at this in the sense of, yes, I do have the breakdown of the trades right here, which was a trade that I entered, a move higher, bullish order flow, enter on the order block, and then just take profits at the highs. That was the trade basically. But I do think that you should still take your own notes, add your own charts, add images, everything. All the breakdowns should still be done by yourself. Why? Because if you're just letting this run in the background, then you're not really going to take a lot away from this. So even though, yes, this is helpful, I do still think that you shouldn't look at this as an escape to, oh yeah, now I don't have to do any more journaling because everything is automated. That's the wrong way to go about it. And if you do, then you're doomed from the get-go. One of the things that has actually helped me the most in Tradezella is the reports tab, where you can see basically everything you can think of is in the reports tab. You have your total P&L, average daily volume, average winning trade, average losing trade. I'm not going to break everything down, but this is what you have in terms of breakdown of your reports of your account. This is something that we saw in the beginning, but then you can even go more detailed, and this is what really helps. So here you can see your trade distribution on the days of the week. You have the performance by day of the week. So as you can see, my biggest profitable day was Wednesday, where I profit $4,700. You have Tuesday, where it was just small winners, and Thursday that was a loss. Now these on all of my accounts is actually different, but what I can tell you is that Monday tends to be an unprofitable day for me, and Friday tends also to be an unprofitable day for me. And ever since knowing that, I started taking lower probability trades on Monday and Friday. I still trade them, but I'm much more picky in what I do. And that's, once again, one of the big shifts that happened once I started using Tradezella and actually seeing the data in front of me. Because this basically gave me data that I was not looking at before. I was very methodical before. Every time I used my Notion, I was very methodical in the things that I was looking for, but still there was always the possibility of things that I didn't know. So how long I was in a trade, the performance by the hour, you can see that for London I'm basically unprofitable, and then in New York this is where profitability becomes. The trade duration, I don't know, I've never really used this because I kind of don't want to know the information. I don't like to hold trades for long, yet most of my profitable trades are like 4 hours long, which it's not the best, but it is what it is. Then instrument, this was also something that really helped, because I noticed that I'm basically at break even with everything that I trade except euro dollar, which I'm in high profit on, and a little bit of NASDAQ. All of my other pairs are either at break even, a small win, or actually a loss. I know that I'm total net like minus 3R on Aussie dollar and etc., which again comes to show that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your input. And that's exactly what I saw. And that's why every time someone asks me, so what do you trade? Main thing is always euro dollar. And sometimes I dabble with NASDAQ. Then you can also break everything down on the setups, your mistakes, your tags, everything else that you can do when you are breaking down a trade on your journal. So if you come right here, you can add your setup, you can add your mistakes, and you can add a custom tag, which then goes into the reports, and you can see what type of setup you are being most profitable on, what type of mistakes are making you the most amount of your losses, and what different types of tags that you do yourself are giving you the most amount of winners or losses. And this, again, this is all you need in order to understand your data and become profitable. And that's why I kind of decided to link up with them, because it was just being so helpful for my journey in general. And again, if we go back to the dashboard, it's just so easy to look at. That's one of my favorite things. There were other journals out there and I've tried other journals, but I always ended up flocking to Tradezella. And so I just did like yearly membership, whatever, and go from there. Another thing that I like is that they have the trade replay. I will show you what that is. So let's go onto this winning trade, go onto trade replay. Let's see this trade. And you can go through the charts, replay the trade and see where you executed on, where you exited. You can see bar by bar basically what the market did, which is such a game changer. It's ridiculous because, again, now you can see where you executed. You won't feel the same emotions as you did before, but you can see price by price exactly what happened in the market that made you execute at the time that you executed. So if we just quickly go onto the execution, so quickly going onto the 1 minute chart, we see that we have this big push down followed by bullish order flow. And this is where I'm like, okay, I'm looking for a target of the highs right there. Then as price is developing, I execute on a long right here. My risk is 20 pips, which is a total of $2,000 with a 10 lot. And then price went into a little bit of drawdown. It then kept going with the bullish order flow and I ended up taking some profits and taking the winner for $1,290, which wasn't the biggest win, but again, it's a win for that matter. And there you go. That was the trade. The risk was actually 10 pips, which was down here, and this was a 12 pip trade. I remember because I was sleeping in the Uber while this was happening. This was like yesterday. So yeah, overall, this is the trade replay. Another thing that is good that I will end up using once I release what I'm looking to release is going to be mentor mode. So I'm excited for what is to come. The notebook and the strategy is basically your playbook. This is where you talk about your rules and you optimize your strategy. The notebook is basically where you keep in touch with all of the days. You basically go through your day, you talk about your day, session recaps, trade notes, all notes. This is basically how you organize yourself. If you just want to talk about a session, then you come onto the session recap. If you want to talk about the day, you go into your daily journal. And if you want to talk just about a trade, then you go onto your trade notes and you can directly do it on there. But I mainly just stick into the main dashboard, and from here on, I come onto the trades and I take my notes here. And on the day, if I have a particular comment that I want to make on the day, then I just add a note here and I just say quick in and out, profitable day. And from here on out, when I am reviewing my trades, when I'm reviewing my days and weeks, I am able to know what I was thinking about. Now, one of the things that I don't like that I'm trying to get Umar to implement is, as we know, we like to basically just copy and paste things on the charts. But here, you can't really do that. You can't really copy and paste a chart, which is unfortunate. And I told Umar that this would be a good ad. Now, what he said is that you can paste that right here on the notes, which is good, and that's basically what I have been doing lately. But either way, it would be good to have a copy and paste here on the chart section. Then they're also developing the backtesting tool, so once that comes out, maybe I'll do a review. Let me know in the comments if you want me to review that. This was basically to showcase what Tradezella has to offer. Now, they have two payment plans. You have the yearly plan and the monthly plan. I know that they are trying to reduce the price, and eventually they will, which is nice. Either way, you can use the discount code, which is going to give you 10 or 15% off. Check the link in the description. I would probably tell you to start with the monthly just for you to understand if you actually like it or not. I personally went directly for the yearly because I was like, hey, it is what it is. It's automated journal, so I might just make the most out of it. And I do think that it's going to give you a little bit more of responsibility if you go for the yearly, but obviously it costs a little bit more. With the discount code, it's going to be around $350 for the year, which is not a lot for the things that it provides. And I'm saying this unbiasedly in my mind, but hey. you do you. So you have AutoSync with MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 and interactive brokers, Robinhood, Thinkorswim, and TradeStation. All the rest, they have the capability of you importing the trades, and then they will do everything for you. And that was the biggest game changer for me in my trading in this past year, was getting everything automated, because I started entering in a little bit more trades, and then from there on making my reviews on Tradezella. So this is my review. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to use the link in the description, then you can. I genuinely do believe that this is one of the best products out there for trading in general, because think about it, we always talked about the importance of journaling. You can go to like my third video on this YouTube, which is like OG Kimmel, and you can see that I was already talking about journaling. Tell the guy back then that he was going to have an automated journaling software, he would say, nah, I'm going to stick to Notion. If you are a beginner, I still recommend you sticking to Notion and doing it by yourself in the beginning. If you have the means to do so, then do both, Tradezella and Notion. But I do think that at first you should be a little bit more hands-on, and then from there on upgrading to something that is more professional, that is going to give you more data. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for the journal itself. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Genuinely tried to keep it as unbiased as possible. That's why I told you who should buy it and who shouldn't. And from here on, you make your decision. If you guys want 10% off, then make sure to check the link in the description. Maybe it's going to be 15. Make sure to check the link in the description. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye.